Good, happy Thursday morning, June 17, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's begin. First up, odor of natural gas in Laconia linked to too much odor in gas main, utility says. Liberty Utilities says there's no active gas leak. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn.
Reports of suspected gas leaks keeping Laconia's fire department busy this afternoon and into the evening.
My biggest concern is that we were going to have either multiple places with leaking or we're going to have fires.
Laconia Fire says the first call of a possible gas leak came in around 2 p.m. from a nursing home on Court Street. Then the Laconia Police Department, Concord Hospital in Laconia, and around 30 other buildings and homes.
Currently, we're not finding any actual gas levels in the building in any of these.
But they did find the smell of gas. The reason? Liberty Utilities say they were installing a new gas main on Laconia Road and pre-treated the main with too much of the chemical mercaptan, which is used to alert people to gas leaks.
There was not a gas leak, but people thought it was a gas leak because they were smelling the chemical that is meant to indicate that there is a gas leak.
Both the utility company and the fire department say they aren't concerned now, but they do want you to call if you smell gas.
Evacuate the building, call 911, and wait outside for us to get there. We will show up. We'll check your house out. We'll clear it, and then Liberty Utilities will come and do the same.
There is no threat that scent is not going to harm anybody. It will dissipate, and again, if they do suspect there is a leak separate from that issue, we do encourage them to call us.
Now, Laconia Fire says a few people were evaluated because they were overcome by the smell, but they are expected to be okay. And Liberty Utilities says that smell should go away by sometime tomorrow. In Laconia, Jessica Moran, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire DMV announces new steps to avoid license suspension backlogs. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn, with a work ethic geared towards customer satisfaction and loyalty. A lot has changed since then, but we still have a commitment to treating our customers like family. At Chapel Tractor, we have the experience to get the job done right, with locations in Milford, Brentwood, and Concord, New Hampshire. We provide customers with the highest quality equipment from the most trusted brands. Go to chapeltractor.com or stop in for a visit.
We've made a constant commitment to improvement, and so there's a lot of different systems that have been put into place over the last couple of years, but this past week is really the big one for us.
The governor is talking about the implementation of the state-to-state verification system.
The most significant achievement really occurred over the last weekend, and that was New Hampshire joining the other 33 states in the state-to-state verification system, which really will ensure us to share New Hampshire information really efficiently with other states.
The internal review in 2019 uncovered a backlog in New Hampshire dating back to 2016, including 62 unprocessed commercial driver's licenses, leading to the suspension of 7 New Hampshire CDLs. It took 60 days to clear the backlog, according to the report, and now a new computer system will prevent future delays.
It's not just a back-end system, it's really a better customer service opportunity as well.
250 DMV employees have now been cross-trained to handle all aspects of motor vehicle processes, and customers will notice an easier-to-operate online platform.
We really redesigned our online ticket pay service to make it a little bit easier for customers to navigate.
The online appointment system reduces wait times as well, and now you can enter a not guilty plea to a traffic ticket right online instead of using the mail. In Concord, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Zosky's defense attorneys appeal denial of evidentiary hearing. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn, with a work ethic geared towards customer satisfaction and loyalty. A lot has changed since then, but we still have a commitment to treating our customers like family. At Chapel Tractor, we have the experience to get the job done right, with locations in Milford, Brentwood, and Concord, New Hampshire. We provide customers with the highest quality equipment from the most trusted brands. Go to chapeltractor.com or stop in for a visit.
Prosecutors say Vladimir Zhukovsky killed 7 motorcyclists back in 2019 in a crash in Randolph. Zhukovsky was placed in preventative detention without an evidentiary hearing regarding bail. Since then, a judge has denied 3 requests from defense lawyers for a hearing, and now they are appealing that decision.
They're not arguing to the Supreme Court, I should be released on bail. What they're saying is, Supreme Court, I should have at least have had an evidentiary hearing because there is a dispute in the underlying facts.
The defense says there's been conflicting views on whether Zhukovsky was impaired at the time of the crash and whether or not the defendant's criminal record supports that he's currently dangerous.
The main issue on their dangerousness seems to focus on his use of drugs, alcohol, and whether or not he was in fact impaired at the time of the collision.
The state argues there's no mandate requiring a bail hearing and that the court used discretion, placing the defendant in preventative detention after finding him dangerous based on evidence.
The statute itself is very discretionary with respect to this subsequent bail hearing. It's not required.
The hearing at the Supreme Court in Concord will take place on June 29th. Reporting live in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Traffic complaints, alcohol issues on the rise in some Granite State communities. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Look at these grays. Time to color silk.
The police department here in the Port City, with its 200 licensed drinking establishments, anticipated being busy as things open back up.
We're seeing a lot of increased calls for service relative to alcohol-related issues, whether it be fights or intoxicated people. And then obviously we're seeing an increase in, unfortunately, alcohol-related crashes as well.
Some leading to serious injuries, and Portsmouth is not alone.
I think every community in this area is getting complaints of speeding vehicles, following too close, going through stop signs, parking wherever they want.
Rise Chief says it's not just visitors, it's locals too, perhaps showing some of the pandemic's wear and tear.
They're getting out and they're frustrated, they have short fuses, they're not patient about anything.
Education and enforcement are key. With the help of grant funds from the New Hampshire Office of Highway Safety that partners with departments across the state, Portsmouth is implementing a patrol every week, strictly dedicated to these issues.
You'll see the difference where you'll see the officers are out there every day, and their goal is aggressive traffic enforcement, targeting those specific type aggressive behaviors, distracted driving, alcohol-related offenses, and so forth.
The added patrols here will continue into September. In Portsmouth, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Spirit Airlines to begin service through Manchester Boston Regional Airport this coming fall. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn, with a work ethic geared towards customer satisfaction and loyalty. A lot has changed since then, but we still have a commitment to treating our customers like family.
Starting in October, Spirit Airlines will begin non-stop flights to certain destinations in Florida.
I'm proud to say that Manchester has Spirit.
For the first time since 2004, Manchester Boston Regional Airport is getting a new airline partner.
It kind of puts us back on the map, right? And the community was speaking loud and clear that they wanted more flights, lower fares.
Starting October 7th, Spirit Airlines will be offering daily non-stop flights to Fort Lauderdale and Orlando, and starting in mid-November, there will be flights several times a week to Fort Myers and Tampa, too.
We're very excited about being here. We spent a couple of years doing a lot of research, and it's a lot of work when we decide to go to a new airport. So we take it seriously.
All of it happening in the midst of the pandemic.
This really helps the sector of the economy that was probably the worst hit, right? Which is our tourism and travel industry and all the restaurants and all the service industries that depend on that traffic.
It's expected to bring in millions in economic impact each year.
$25 million economic opportunity here with Spirit just in the city of Manchester.
Airport leaders say the demand is there. They're about 70% back to pre-pandemic levels.
That's without Delta. That's with Southwest only being at 50% of their pre-pandemic schedule. United being at about 66%, American being at about 75%.
Through that pandemic, these guys didn't give up. They kept working 110% to try to get a deal like this done. Spirit made the investment. It's a big investment on their part, a big commitment to the state of New Hampshire.
Tickets for flights are already posted at last check. A flight to Orlando from Manchester on October 7th would cost about $62. From Manchester Boston Regional Airport, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. COVID-19 cases continue to drop in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When it's time to invest in a new roof, be smart and look at more factors than just the final price. Not all roofs are the same, and not all...
Coronavirus numbers for New Hampshire released just a little while ago. Tonight, there are 25 new cases of COVID-19 in the state, and active cases have fallen to 269. There are still 18 patients in the hospital. No new deaths again tonight, but 1,364 Granite Staters have died.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Concerns growing over COVID-19 Delta variant. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Now to the other major news we're following this Wednesday night, the coronavirus back at home. The growing concern about the Delta variant, first seen in India, highly transmissible and potentially more severe. Tonight, described as COVID on steroids, and what authorities are now seeing in the U.S., spreading quickly, and what you should know. And we've also learned they're now studying at least 80 countries with reported cases of mutations of this variant already. Here's ABC's Whit Johnson tonight.
Tonight, the Delta variant threatening to derail progress against the pandemic. The highly contagious strain now identified in at least 37 states.
If you're living in a part of the country where there is a low degree of vaccination, or if you yourself are not vaccinated, you're clearly vulnerable because this is basically COVID-19 on steroids.
Officials have warned the Delta variant is more transmissible and may cause more severe disease. Some states with lower vaccination rates seeing a nearly 20% increase in COVID cases over the last 2 weeks. In Tennessee, where just a third of the state is fully vaccinated, the Delta variant is already taking hold. At least 10 cases in the Memphis area.
We have made tremendous progress, and we don't want to lose what we've gained.
The Delta variant, first identified in India, now making up about 90% of cases in the UK. Some experts warn it could become the dominant strain here in the US.
It is far more contagious than any variant we have seen throughout this entire pandemic.
But vaccines appear to be effective against it, and reports suggest some symptoms of the Delta variant may be more prevalent.
Headaches and sore throat are the kind of key features of this variant. Whether that'll hold up in larger data, we don't know, but it is something definitely to keep an eye on.
And David, the Delta variant has now been identified, according to the World Health Organization, in more than 80 countries. Officials are also tracking so-called Delta Plus variants, which have additional mutations, something they're watching very closely. David?
And of course, we'll stay on this with Johnson tonight with Thank You.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
Okay, and thank you for joining us for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.